Hi there, so this is Jared with the Sleepy Canine. Today we'll be going over the Dogtra 202C ecollar set. Now this has half a mile range, 100 levels of stimulation, and a vibrate feature, as well as excellent water resistance. This is an ecollar set that is made for dogs that are 10 pounds or higher. So obviously, if you have a dog that is less than 10 pounds, then I do not suggest using this remote. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the showcase itself. Now, unlike the 1900 series ecollar, it does not come with certain things, as this is one of their more older models. Now, it doesn't come with a case, textured grips, an LCD screen, as well as instead of going up to 127 levels, which the 282 series goes up to, as well as the 1902 series goes up to, which is 127. Now, straight out of the box, everything should come pre-charged. However, I do suggest charging them again just in case. Now, it does come with an extra little charging cable here that you can pretty easily just snap right onto here. That way you can charge all three pieces here at once, the two e-collars and the remote. That's pretty self-explanatory. You can find the little openings for the chargers just on the inside of the remote here, just on the little side here for the e-collars. And for the remote, you can find the little charging port on the back here by opening up this little rubber tab. Now, these are water resistant, but obviously you want to make sure that those are closed. That way nothing gets damaged. Go ahead and close this real quick here. Now, the next thing that we're going to be going over is this little plastic bit here. This basically tests to make sure that your e-collars are properly functioning, which we'll be going over later. Now, it also, straight out of the box, does come with a manual. This basically goes over everything you need to know about the 200C or 202C e-collars, as well as some training tips on basically how to get your dog accustomed to the e-collar. I strongly suggest reading this manual. Now let's go ahead and go into the remote here. Now, it doesn't come with a belt clip or pocket clip, which is a bit unfortunate. However, it does come with a lanyard. Now, as previously said, again, it doesn't come with the textured grips or LCD screen, as well as only goes up to 100 levels of stimulation compared to the 282C or 1902S that goes up to 127 levels, which honestly isn't that big of a deal. So we're going to go over a couple of the buttons here. First things first, we have the rheostat dial. This basically lets you set the stimulation from anywhere from 0 up to 100. The next button we're going to be going over here is this little switch. Now, this basically lets you switch between constant and nick. Now, nick, this is obviously for the stimulation. Now, nick is basically, let's say I press this button and hold it down, it's just going to go that one time. It's going to only provide the one stimulation. Whereas if we go and switch this over to a constant, then instead what's going to happen when I press and hold this button down, it's going to be constantly going and giving a constant stimulation. Now, the next two buttons here are the pagers. This basically is the vibrate feature on your remotes. Obviously, the gray button connects to the black collar here, and the orange button connects to the orange collar here. Now, the next set of buttons here are the stimulation buttons. Now, the black or gray button, obviously, again, connects to the black collar, orange connecting to orange. Now, personally, I suggest just leaving the constant feature on, as that's most likely what you're going to be constantly using for your e-collar instead of the nick. That's just personal preference. Obviously, do what works best for you. Now, we're going to be going over here to the e-collars. These do come with the standard, I believe it's 3/8 of an inch contact points. However, depending on your dog's needs, breed, stuff like that, you might want to be getting different contact points, such as the one these, which are wings. These are basically better for dogs that have more sensitive skin. Or you can be going for dogs that have, say, much longer fur, thicker coats, so you might want to be going with the 1-inch contact points. It's pretty simple how to get these off. You basically just twist them on off, switch them out. Might need a little bit of force though. Now, how we're going to be turning these e-collars on is pretty simple. We have a little red dot on this back of this remote here, as well as a little red dot on both of our collars. Basically going to be connecting the two, and when you do that, the light should flash. Obviously that was left on, so if we hit this again, it's going to turn green, and that turns on. You're going to be doing the same thing with your other remote here. Hitting it, turns green, that means it's on. It'll be consistently blinking. It's green, good on the charge. It's orange, bad charge. If it's blinking red, you need to charge it. Pretty self-explanatory here. And again, gray here goes to black, or black goes to black, orange goes orange. Pretty self-explanatory on how that works. Now we're going to be showing you how this little plastic bit here works to make sure that your collars are properly functioning in terms of the stim feature. So if we go and just push these down together here, right onto the contact points, go ahead and turn up the rheostat dial a little bit here. If we just hold down that, it's going to light up. That basically means it's working. Now if this doesn't light up, both contact points are touching the little bit here, then you might have a little bit of a malfunction. Again, same thing we're testing with orange color. Now, the second thing you want to do, obviously, to test it is to make sure the pagers are working. You'll get a little bit of a vibrate slash noise. Now, I would strongly suggest testing these out on yourself first, just to make sure they are properly functioning. Only what you want to do is obviously make sure both contact points are touching your skin. Turn it up to, I'd say, maybe about a 20. Just buzz a little. It might feel a slight tingle. That's perfectly normal. That's what you're supposed to be feeling. Now, when attaching these collars to your dog's neck, you want to make sure that they're properly fit. So you want to be doing the sides of the neck and not directly on the throat or directly on the back of the neck, but on the sides. And you want to make sure that the collar, basically where you can fit 2 fingers between your dog's neck and the collar. You don't want to be having it flat like this, but instead like this. You want to make sure both contact points are comfortably touching their skin. Otherwise, it's not going to work. That's very important. Again, depending on your dog's breed, you might want to get different contact points depending on everything. Anyhow, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, then please feel free to let us know. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely day.